going to talk about man coverage or cover one in the 4-3. Again, I think this is an excellent complement to quarters coverage. I think this is a necessity. I think no matter what defense you play, I think you have to have some man coverage component. And we like cover one just because it gives us a great middle of the field closed option, again, for teams that consistently try to attack us with quarters beaters. Ran us about 18 to 22% the past few years. So again, 5, 6, 7, 8 times a game in certain situations. But we love it because our run fits don't change. And again, very simple to teach. All right, so some keys to cover one here. Number one, like I mentioned, it's a great complement to quarters. Gives us another way to close the middle of the field. Very easy to disguise. Again, we're going to hold our two shell as long as we can, snap of the ball, and we're gonna spin to where we need to go. And then again, the run fits are the same because ultimately, at the end of the day, it comes down to stopping the run, and that is non-negotiable for us. We're going to stop the run. So anything that we put in, anything that we run, we want to keep it simple. So the run fits do not change. It's not like, well, in this defense, hey, where you got to do this. In the defense, you got to play this gap. Or in this defense, it's all the same. So there's a lot of carryover. Practice time is very well used because it's the same stuff over and over and over again for the kids. So some techniques of our players. Again, cornerbacks, pretty much exactly the same as our base quarters. Inside leverage, number one, you have him wherever he goes. Now, there is an addition to that we will do at times, but it all based on who you play. If you're playing a team that runs a lot of mesh concepts, a lot of unders, a lot of shallows, maybe an air raid type team, well, then we will zone off on any immediate under. We will call rat, and then we will actually try to go back, zone back. We call it robot the dig because a lot of times if one goes under, two's coming back on either an under or a mesh, like I said, or a dig from the other side. If you do not play teams like that, then I would just keep it simple. Cornerback, you have number one wherever he goes, period, end of story. All right, that's how easy it is with the cornerbacks. Now, with that being said, if the receiver reduces his split and he comes, say, about a midpoint in between the numbers and the hash, then we will change our. We won't be inside leverage. We'll probably go more head up, and then vice versa. If he cheats down, we will go outside leverage with him. If it ever comes to a point where 1 and 2 are close enough, we usually give them about a 5-yard distance. Then if a cornerback's man with 1 and either a linebacker or a safety's man with 2, we will then do what we call pine that. So it's basically almost like a palm steal. Those two still have those two, but we're anticipating some sort of switch release or a slant out combo. In that case, we'll kind of we'll switch our men on that, and that's all pre-snap communication. All right, safeties. So our field safety. So again, everything being equal, say the ball's on the left hash, offense is right hash, our defense is left hash. All right, as we're looking at it, the field safety, say the field's over this way, he's going to show his quarters, and then if there's a number 2 receiver to the field, which most of the time there is, all right, he's going to walk down, all right, at the snap of the ball, and he's going to play outside man catch technique. And what is catch technique? So again, it's outside leverage. All right, we're going to show our quarters. We're going to get into a nice quarters alignment, but based on number 2, we might have to widen out a little bit pre-snap, whatever it is. Snap of the ball, we want to end up 1 by 6 if we can. Walk down to that outside catch. So we're going to, again, clear our cleats, pop our feet. As 2 is vertical, all right, we're going to physically catch him. We're going to take our left hand, put that on his breastplate, put our right hand, all right, on his outside shoulder and try to catch him as he's vertical and invite him inside. When he comes inside, we would then like to undercut and get into a trail position. All right, it's catch technique, very critical that we teach just the right way. Any type of slant route, 3-step slant, 3-step in or fin route, any vertical, we want to physically catch that, ride him. If it's a vertical, we want to get in a trail and undercut it. If it's a slant, we want to physically go underneath the route. We want the quarterback to throw a perfect pass because if we undercut it, we're likely to be in the window to intercept it, to tip it, or even if he tries to throw it over our head, we have our free safety right behind us ready to make a play on the ball or hit the receiver as he catches it. So it's got to be a perfect throw by the quarterback. And with that being said, when we're playing cover one, more times than not, we're bringing 5, all right, or even 6 if we're going to peel it. So that's the field safety. Boundary safety. So again, everything being equal, showing quarters, snap of the ball. Again, hold is disguised, so the snap. I can maybe cheat his alignment inside or outside depending on where the middle of the field is based on the formation. Snap of the ball, he's going to open his hip and fishtail to the deep middle of the field. All right. And then, again, we kind of use for carryover, we kind of teach him that same technique as our delay high hole safety and in hot coverage, where we'd like him to shuffle, and then fishtail. Because, again, we want to have him with a run-pass read. If it's a run, we don't want him just bailing out to the deep middle of the field, to the deep abyss for no reason at all. But at the same point, if it's pass, he gets a pass key, then he can get to the deep middle of the field. And he's normal cover one rules, deep is the deepest. All right. If they come out in a 2x2 set, 2x2 now. All right. The boundary safety has got to alert. He sees a number 2 receiver to his side into the boundary. He's got to alert the field safety. Hey, I got a number 2 over here. We're going to yo-yo it. So they just make a yo-yo call, make this signal here. Then they know they're yo-yoing their responsibilities. The boundary safety now is going to come down to number 2 and play catch. The field safety now is going to go and fishtail to the middle of the field. They just switch roles, okay? Because now our Falcon is going to walk out, and I'll get to that in a minute, and play the number 2 to the field. Linebackers, all right? So starting with 2 backs. If 2 backs are in the backfield, we will always have 3 linebackers in the core playing those 2 backs. All right, 2 backs in the backfield. We have our 3 linebackers tangoing those 2 running backs. Basically, whatever side the backs go, the respective linebacker on that side will take them. All right, I'll draw it up for you in a minute. If they both go one way and our 3 linebackers, the 2 linebackers on that side take them, the other one becomes a rat. Okay? There's always going to be one rat in the hole. And that's, again, we can do different things with that. We can have him add on to the pressure. But right now, camp rules, we teach our linebacker that's not in coverage to be the rat in the hole. All right, if there's 1 back, okay, our Falcon will walk out and play 2 to the field. All right, our Mike and Bandit, who are in the box, that means there's only 1 back. They're going to tango that 1 back. Same thing. Whichever the way the back goes, that linebacker takes him. The other one becomes the rat. All right. He goes this way, the other guy takes him, he becomes the rat. What does the rat do? The rat spies the quarterback. All right, he looks for first crosser. So as he's sitting here just hanging out 5 yards, spying the quarterback, in case he scrambles, steps up to run, draw, gets a crosser right or left. Here's a rat call from one of his buddies, and he's going to immediately jump that crosser. All right, because if he gets a rat call, all right, that other linebacker, that other safety, whoever's playing the under route, will pass it off, and then that guy will play the deep middle, or he'll robot the dig. So again, alert rat call from your corner, safety, or other linebacker. Again, we'll show you this in a minute. All right, so here's a good picture versus trio. Okay, so base cover 1. All right, where's number 2? 2 to the field. Field safety walks down, snap of the ball, said, boom. Again, we want to disguise it outside catch technique. This is the only situation where we play outside leverage with our DBs. All right, boundary safety again. Set go, shuffle, fishtail to the middle of the field. All right, how many backs do they have? They have 2. All right, 2 backs. So we have 3 linebackers tangoing. All right, and I'll show you a couple situations here. So we'll just say the first one. Just say it's, for whatever reason, they put him to the flat and they swing the running back. So both went this way. Well, pretty simple. The 2 linebackers on this side take them. This one would jump that one. The Mike would take him. And this bandit now becomes the rat. He hangs out in the middle of the field waiting for the QB to scramble. All right, waiting for maybe a rat call there. Could wait for a rat call there, and he's ready to sit and jump those, whatever way that goes. All right, everything else is the same. Corners are man-to-man. All right, let's say the running back split. Say he goes that way. Say he goes that way. All right, Falcon will take him. Bandit will take him. Mike becomes the rat in the hole. All right, third option. Say this is a common one. They'll do a split zone. They'll bring him into the flat. All right, and say this guy comes out here for whatever reason. Again, common sense. Take the guy to your side. Mike becomes the rat. And then the last one, I doubt they would do this from this way, but say they both went this way. The Bandit would take the first, Mike would take the second, and the Falcon becomes the rat in the hole. All right, so they just work it out. We call it tango. That means us three are sharing those two, and they work it out amongst themselves. All right, so here's a good clip, and this is actually us we're bringing 6. All right, so if you bring 6 and play cover 1, you're 1 short, so you have to peel. So we're actually bringing 6 here, these 4, and I believe we're bringing these 2 here as well. All right, so that's 6. But both my edge guys, in this case, are the defensive ends. This running back would swing. They have to peel. Nonetheless, he's man, outside man technique, really good. He's our deep middle player. All right. This guy is man on the H-back right here. All right. Again, because we're bringing 6, if they swing that back out, we have to peel. Snap of the ball. Disregard the pressure here. We get a sack. But let's look at the coverage. All right, let's start the cornerback up top. All right, inside leverage, squash grapes, boom, good offhand jam. All right, don't want to hold him there, but nonetheless, I like the aggressiveness. All right, let's look at this field safety up top. Again, we want a 1x6. He's probably about 1x5, maybe a step deeper, but I know this receiver was really fast. He wanted to get his hands on. So again, outside leverage. He gets it under. All right, really good. Now, the one thing to remember, and this is key too, and I forgot to mention this. If you bring 6, so in this instance we're bringing 6 and we're peeling, you lose your rat. So we don't have a rat. So in this case, on any unders, you got to run with them. Okay, and when we talk about that and understand that, it's built into our call. So right here, both these guys, man. All right, let's watch this guy, our number 3. All right, that's not as good, right? I think he loses his eyes in the backfield a little bit. All right, he should be catching him. There should be a nice little collision there. Left hand on chest, right hand on shoulder, and then undercut. I like that undercut, all right, but I'd like to get his hands on a little bit. And the pressure gets home. All right. Oh, we actually do the same exact pressure here. So, again, we're bringing 6, and we're peeling. So, again, I believe it's these 6. He's peel. He's peel. All right. Man. Delay high hole safeties. There's no rat here. Oh, good. All right. So, again, does it always work out the way you want it to? No. So we have a peel here. Our defensive end did not peel. And this is what happens if you don't peel. If they don't do what their coach do, which, again, high school kids, you coach them up. Our D end, I think he thinks about peeling. I think he peels late, but they're able to dump the ball out here, and we have nobody on him. He ends up actually going to make the play, and I think they are stopped about a yard short. But look at the defense here. If he, in fact, goes and peels, he probably gets a pick. Goes to bat it down. If he doesn't, then there's a big-time sack here. So, again, two ways you can do it. You can bring 5 and have a rat, or you bring 6 and peel. And we do both. Another one, same situation, same game. I guess we like this blitz. We like to blitz. Notice torch to the back. We like to blitz to the back. All right, we're playing cover 1. All right, so man everywhere. All right, so this is actually a good one. All right, our boundary safety's down. They motion across. All we do is rock and roll. He comes down to play him outside. He becomes the deep middle safety. There's a good picture right there. Man. It's too late to make any calls. You got to stay with your guy. Too late to make any switch calls, so stay with your guy. Pretty good. Again, the start here, inside out. It's got this H-back. I like where he ends up, but again, he doesn't get. I'd like to get hands on, catch him. Yeah, you guys all know we all know what a catcher's mitt is. Pitcher throws it. I have the mitt out. What happens when the ball comes? Boom! You catch it. There's a little absorption with it. Same thing. We're gonna catch him, ride him, and right there, I like the undercut. Undercut the route. See how he's undercutting it? Because we know we have a safety sitting back here on top if the quarterback throws it. And again, pressure hits home. All right. Same thing versus doubles. So again, doubles comes out. The boundary safety is the key. If he is a number 2, he's got to yell over yo-yo to the field safety so they know they switch roles. Falcon knows it's 1 back, so I come out and cover 2. All right, these 2 are tangoing the running back. man, and we're bringing 5 and playing, having a wrap. So here it is again. This is our Okie. So disregard the front, disregard the blitz pattern. We're bringing 5. So that says we have our down 3, or our 4, plus our Mike. So we're bringing 5. All right, so that tells our backer this left that he has the back man-to-man. All right. Pretty good technique all over. And the pressure hits home. Look at really good technique here. By the safety, outside leverage, force him inside. Now right there, I'll even get to it. We want to get on the low shoulder here. Low shoulder. Good technique by the safety up top. Right there. I like that catch technique. Now as he goes, don't trip and undercut him. Undercut. You should be running right here underneath him. All right. This is one we talk about that no cover zone. If we're in man-to-man, we got to go. There is no such thing as a no cover zone when you're in man-to-man. All right. So again, we're bringing 5, which tells we're bringing 5. That tells that leftover linebacker you have that running back man-to-man. All right. They run the ball. It's 3rd down and 7. We're in our Okie package, our 3rd down. But again, looking at just the cover 1 version. All right. Good. 1 by 6 outside. 1 by 6 outside. Man. Again, we got to do a better job, I think, of showing quarters here. Coming down, spinning. They run the ball. Again, run fits are the same. Get off the field. All right, versus trips. So follow your rules. Field safety, do I have a number 2? Yeah. Walk down and cover them. All right, boundary safety, deep middle. Bandit, 1 back, or Falcon, 1 back. They're going to walk out and cover. Now, something that we talk about a lot, these 2 guys. A lot of teams will put, their fast guy here and more of their H-back here. Well, match up your guys appropriately. Put your Falcon, put your faster guy on their faster guy, put your slower guy on their slower guy, and vice versa. If they switch them, then switch them. All right, if these guys line up tight, and then these 2 might have to, again, we call it pine, share these 2. And we want to make sure you get on different levels. If you're sharing those 2, if they switch release, if we're at the same level here, we're going to run into each other. So if we're going to do that, we'd have the field safety maybe up tighter. All right, we'd have the Falcon back deeper a little bit. All right, so when they switch, right, then we're able to play off those. We're going to take the guy that comes to us. All right. So here's again to the back. We're bringing 6 peel, playing cover 1 behind it. Again, this is our blitz pattern. We're running some of our 6-man stuff. Great versus the run. Nonetheless, again, you can play hot coverage, whatever you want behind it. We're playing cover 1, outside, man. We've got our deep safety there. Great versus the run. Great versus the pass. All right, again, this is kind of what I was talking about when we're going to try to robot if we're playing air raid teams that are running unders. But again, when you do this, you got to make sure that you're only bringing 4 when you do this, so you have your extra rat in the hole. If you bring 5, if you bring 6, you lose that rat. So I guess you could bring 5 and peel, and then you have the rat there. But again, it's all about the numbers. Long story short, look over here, man-to-man. He runs a post, I got him. All right, inside leverage, he's on me. All right, 2 by 2, we make a yo-yo call. Boundary safety's down, 1 by 6, outside leverage. He runs a dig. I'm going to catch technique. I'm going to undercut him. All right, good. All right. Both linebackers, 1 back, yo-yo. 1 back's here. He's likely to go that way. He goes. I take him. I become the rat in the hole. I'm alerting rat. All right. I'm looking for a quarterback scramble, quarterback draw, under routes. Start over here, corner, man-to-man, inside leverage. He runs a go, fine, easy. Field safety, showing too high, snap of the ball, shuffle, runner pass. It's pass, deep middle, read the quarterback. As deep as the deepest. Protect the post. Last guy, this is the nuance here. Outside leverage, all right? Any type of immediate under route, all right? I'm going to follow him. As I'm following him, I'm yelling, rat, rat, rat. To get confirmation that he's going to take him for me, he's going to yell, cut, cut, cut. When that happens, he takes the under. When I confirm he has it, I then can zone off. And in this picture here, in essence, we end up doubling this dig, which in most offenses, the quarterback's taught drop back. If on the under, this is a typical drive route. If the Mike jumps that, then the quarterback's taught to go to the window behind him. We're not only going to undercut that, we're going to have a safety on top of that, but we're also going to have a rat or roboting the dig here. So perfect world, this guy's going to undercut it and intercept it. So I really like our chance there. It works out really good if you can teach it that way. If you're playing a team that runs the high-low on your mic, right, or that mesh stuff, that would really help you guys out there. But again, take some time to invest in and to teach. All right. So we're cover one here. Again, we're bringing 5. He's got the back blocks. All right, what are you going to do? Back blocks. He becomes a rat now. He's looking for scramble. He's listening for rat, 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 etc. There's a good picture right there. So here it is. Runs an immediate under. As he's chasing him, he's yelling, rat, 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 rat. This guy yells, cut, cut, cut. He jumps that. He then can zone off and look for one of these guys coming back, or now if the quarterback would happen to scramble, etc. Good picture there. Mike's going to take him. He kind of falls off. Although the ball was already thrown, he could have came back here and poached that route right there. So again, when it works out great, it is a great, great addition to your cover one scheme. I think the biggest thing to remember, though, is how many are you bringing? Are you bringing 5 to back blocks? Are you going to rat him? Or are you going to add on that extra rusher? And that's the thing a lot of teams will do. A lot of teams will, if I'm in charge of the back blocks, do I add him on, all right, to the rush, or do I have him become a rat? And again, it's a personal preference. Camp rules, we have ours become a rat. There's definitely times throughout the season where we'll add him onto the rush. But love cover one, great compliment to what we do in our quarters package. All right, now we're going to talk about a very important aspect of our quarters coverage. We talked about how to adjust to 3x1. 3x1 is a very popular formation, 10 personnel sets or even 11 personnel sets nowadays. But you got to have adjustments. You got to have different ways to play 3x1. We have 2 or 3 that we really like. There's a bunch out there. Depends on what you like, what you want to invest time into. But I definitely think this is a huge part of the 4x4-3 system coverage package. All right, so I'm going to go over some of the more popular ones that we like and some issues with them and why we do the things we do. All right, issues is 3x1. Why is that such a big deal? Number one, it puts the Mike in a run-pass conflict in our defense. A lot of times the Mike will have a gap, but he's also relating to the number 3 receiver. Stop the run, go play your gap, and then they're gonna bait you with the run and throw the old stick draw RPO, very, very popular. So there's issues with that. So you got to take care of that. Number 2, defenses can no longer afford to drop linebackers into zones. All right, that's why we match routes underneath. Offenses are too good, too advanced to be able to do that. Number 3, each player is a link on a chain. All right, so we all work together. All 3 underneath guys work together. Number 4, the boundary corner. All right, he's oftentimes their stud. All right, so 3x1 offenses do that for a reason. They want to put their stud at that single receiver and hopefully get him singled up, and they want to be able to, try to take advantage of that in the defense. So you have to have plans for that. Is it a passing team, or is it a team with a quarterback that is a running threat? That's, again, very, very big aspect that you have to take into account. If he can run, you better be ready to have +1 in the box there to take care of that. If he's more of a thrower, well, he's not going to ever run it. Well, then you can do some things with your coverage there. All right. We set our front differently in 3x1. And then finally, most high school quarterbacks, and again, I alluded this to the beginning in the basics, but most high school quarterbacks can't throw the 15-yard out route to the field. All right, so we're going to make them do it. And that's kind of our philosophy there. All right, so the first way we do it, this is probably our most common way to play 3x1. We call skate coverage. A lot of people call it stress coverage. Long story short, it's weak rotation. We're showing too high, and it's weak rotation. So we're going to take our boundary safety away from the passing strength, and he's going to, without use of a better word, he's going to rotate down in the box. All right, now we kind of get a little more specific than that, give him some specific rules, but long story short, he's going to roll down into the box weak. So looking at the picture here, 3x1 set, all right, set in the front away from the 3x1. We will start to the field here. So one thing we will not do, we will not press when we run stress. We're going to be off about 6 to 7 yards, and then we line up based on our divider rules. All right, our divider rules are very specific. We go 5-1 bottom. So divider, the ball's on the far hash over here. The cornerback is lined up 5 yards inside the numbers. All right, that's 5. If the ball was in the middle of the field, then we line up 1 yard inside the numbers. If the ball was on the near hash to the cornerback, well, then he lines up at the bottom of the numbers. All right, very critical. And we even get to the point where I told you at the beginning, we don't huddle. But these cornerbacks, all right, when we're playing these type of teams, that's going to be their huddle. We tell them to line up on their divider as they're getting the call. So stand on their divider. It helps them remember it. So as they're waiting for the offense to line up, they see 3x1. This field cornerback, we have him physically line up on his divider. So if the ball's on that hash, 5 yards on top of the numbers. If the ball's in the middle, it's going to be 1 yard on top of the numbers. If the ball's on the hash closest to me, I'm at the bottom of the numbers. All right? All right, now Falcon, beautiful thing, same alignment. He's apexing. Apexing, 2 receiver, and being on the line. Now, with that being said, we do very specific things with our Falcon. All right, and this is both in base and in skate coverage. We give him a box out here just because of all the pre-snap RPOs, all the stuff offenses are doing as far as looking out there. Why would they throw it out there? What are they going to do? We give him a box to move around. We tell him that he can line up here, or here, pre-snap, and move around to those. He's got the ability to move around that box. At the end of the day, though, he better end up to where he needs to be. But again, changing the picture, because that's what the quarterbacks are doing. They're looking out there. The OCs in the box are looking out there at your overhang. Where's he at? Well, if he's back here hanging out, well, they might like that. They're going to, throw a bubble or whatever it is. They might throw a screen. So you have to move that guy around. Nonetheless, he's in charge to wall 2. If it's pass, he's looking to wall number 2. All right, reroute him, make him run the hump. All right, 10 to 12 yards, and he's a seam defender. He's not allowed out of the seam unless the quarterback looks here or unless the quarterback rolls out. All right, or if he gets a bubble or an out, he's got to make sure he leverages that. But we do not want to come up on that route. All right, field safety. Back to the field corner. So his alignment, again, get on his divider. All right, 6 yards off. If they all go vertical, he is to divide 1 and 2. So worst case scenario, they all go vertical. He's going to work in his zone between the 1 and 2 receiver. He is going to always lean 2 if the quarterback's looking. We want to make him throw this route. All right, field safety, same thing. Line up in between the number 2 and 3 receiver. All right, same depth. Again, showing quarters here. Ball snapped. You're going to divide 2 and 3. All right, with the emphasis on leaning number 3 here. All right, and again, we have some different things we can do there, but again, camp rules, that's what we're going to do. All right, Mike, you're plussed out. It's trips. You're in your 30s. You can even be hipped out a little more depending on the width of this guy. Your job is, if it's pass, to wall 3. Again, 3's coming. We will make him run the hump right there. All right, we're going to zone turn and get square about 10 to 12 yards. Bandit on the backside. You're a match 2 player. Doesn't change. All right, where's your 2? 1, 2. 2 comes out to the flat. Well, we got to leverage that. And if you remember back when we talked about stopping the pass video, any wheel from the backfield, we got to run with. All All right, so if he'd run a wheel, we got to run with that. All right, if he comes up and checks down, then we're just matching 2. We're gonna leverage that number 2 receiver. Heck, if he blocks and this guy comes across, that becomes his number 2. So he'll zone off a little bit eyes here, and he's going to leverage that route right there. All right, backside corner. All right, he is solo. All right, this is again, you can only run this coverage. Again, base rules. If you got a guy back here that can hold up in man-to-man, he's solo, man-to-man, inside leverage. He has them. All right, key to the coverage is our boundary safety here. All right, very specific. Snap of the ball. He's clearing his cleats, popping his feet, reading high hat or low hat. If he gets run, he is working down to the side of the running back. Why the side of the running back? Because that's the side that they're going to go zone read, and if the quarterback would pull it, he's our extra hat, all right, to make that tackle. If it's pass, this is where it's very important to understand. If it's pass, he gets high hat, all right, high hat by these linemen. Then he's going to read the quarterback. Quarterback drops, fakes, drops, whatever. He looks this way, then we're going to help out in double number 1. If he looks this way, then we're going to look to poach number 3 right here. So in essence, it's the best of both worlds. We like this a lot versus teams that have running quarterbacks. You know, he can scramble, he's looking to take off, and that's a guy that we can actually just kind of coach up and be our extra guy right there. And you can do whatever you want with them, but that's base alignment and skate. So some little adjustments to that. Actually, I have a video clip here first. So base skate here. There's our base alignment. Ball's in the middle, so he should be 1 yard on top of the numbers. That's his divider. All right, normal alignment. All right, we're actually bringing 5 here. That's okay, though. We're bringing 5. All right, boundary safety. Runner pass. It's pass. Where's he looking? He's looking this way. He's looking to come and poach 3 right now. All right, that's what he's doing. Now the pressure got home. Up top, all 3 are vertical. Leaning 1 and 2, leaning 2 and 3. There we go. There's 2. He's got him. There's 3. He's got him. He works it into his seam. Pretty good coverage right there. All right, another look at it. So motion across. There's our trips. All right, we're playing skate here up top. Lean 1 and 2. Lean 2 and 3. All right, here's our extra guy. Sprint out pass. All right. Simple golden rule. If they sprint out, we tell our Falcon, you sprint out. They try to run a smash concept. Smash 7 right there. Boom. Good collision. Good reroute right there. Sprint. Get under that route. All right, everybody else is pretty good. So again, then he released 2. 3 blocks. So our Mike, who's looking to wall 3. All right. The minute that happens, nothing comes in. He's going to green dog late. I don't know if he does it till too late. He's starting to come up right there. He probably should be a couple steps sooner. But if it's 3 blocks, then he can add on to the rush. All right, let's look up top. Corner, 1 and 2. So there is no number 3. So the minute that happens, 1 becomes the corners, 2 becomes the safeties. We talked about leaning 1, leaning 2, leaning 3. The minute one of them runs a bubble, the minute one of them runs an out, the minute one of them blocks, the other 2 are declared as the other 2 guys. I don't know if that makes sense, but I can get into that a little bit more. Pretty good D. All right, here's a good picture here. So again, up top, all 3 are vertical, right there. Vertical, hash mark vertical, vertical. Our corner needs to divide and lean 2. All right, our field safety here needs to divide and lean 3. Underneath players, wall 2, wall 3. All right. 3 probably could have been a little more physical there, probably took a poor angle. 2, I'd like to stay inside of him. See how he went outside and gave him that window? So, again, that's not exactly how we want it done. All right, we actually ran a little stunt here. We slanted our line this way, brought our boundary safety down, played the C gap there, and enabled us to have the mic out of the run fit. That's just a little adjustment we have there in that defense. All right, another clip here. So 3 by 1. This is actually empty. We'll get to this later, but let's just focus on this side right now. So right there, there's our match 2. There's our wall or match 3. Good picture of it. All right, into the boundary. Nothing changes. Corners divider. Where's the ball? Near hash. I'm 1 yard around bottom of the numbers. Pretty good. All right, these are good. They're into the boundary. We don't need to come here. Stay where you're at. These guys are going to run. It's only if they go vertical where we're worried. They'll come to us. All right, again, I'd like more of a reroute. Divide 1 and 2, divide 2 and 3. He's extra. Where's the quarterback looking? All right, boundary. All right, it's our bandit. We actually brought our falcon over to the formation. That's a decision you have to make. If they go fib formation to the boundary, we travel our field players to the boundary in that case. But right here, he's a match 2 player over here. There is no 2. Or 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now I'm sure one of these guys could come across and be his 2. Nonetheless, he doesn't have an immediate 2. Just kind of zone off with your eyes in the backfield. Stay square for the quarterback scramble, for the screen, etc. Good picture. Quarterback sprints. Quarterback sprint. I sprint. Good divider here. Right there. The minute one of them stops, number 1 now becomes the corner can take 1. The safety can take 2 or who became 2. Pretty good distribution. Really, really, really good by this Falcon getting to the sideline because they're running a deep comeback here that they wanted to throw to. You can see the quarterback looking, and he had to pull off it. Good picture of our alignment. Again, one thing to keep in mind with this Falcon, if they serve screens, this guy's got to be the destructor. He's got to be the guy that can go and blow that up. We're actually bringing 5 here. We're bringing 5. So one thing to keep in mind, if you bring 5, you lose your match 2 player weak. So that's where your boundary safety now has got to know that. He's got to take him. Throw the screen to the top. Good job by our Falcon attacking. Making a play on the ball. All right, one adjustment you can make. So we call it bracket. So everything over here is the same. Over here, if they got a dude at the single receiver, we could bracket him. We could double him. So basically, we play man under, real aggressive man under. We want to be a physical, aggressive, inside, low shoulder technique. Then our boundary safety just works on top, and we actually double him. We got a guy underneath, a guy on top of him. Nice adjustment. This is an in-game adjustment based on they got a guy over there. You have a tendency where they're going to throw the ball to him. Maybe they just got a big-time Division I player, whatever it is. So right here, we're playing our normal skate down here. Up here, we're playing bracket. You can see our safety yelling to bracket to him. So he's going to play low and inside, and he's going to be on top of him. Let's just keep an eye up top. There we go. Good. It could have been more physical, but again, good trail technique. Safety over the top. They wanted to throw it. Quarterback saw that we were doubling them and got off it. Looking there, got off it right now. Good defense. So again, you have a good tendency when they're going to do it. Same situation here. We're going bracket up top to the single receiver. Beat him up, low shoulder. He's on top. Again, they come down the bottom. Let's look at the skate version. So again, wall 2, wall 3. Now, one thing you have to understand, and this is a good picture here. The mic right here has the front side B gap. All right? They're in a level 3 back, so I think he was thinking quarterback draw. That's why he false steps a little bit here. And that's why he's late to matching his number 3 route right here. They get a completion, 4-yard gain, but nonetheless, there's a couple of things you could do here to help the mic out. You know, we could spike our defensive end into the B gap. So now that allows the mic to play the C gap, but he could widen. All right, you could play some different games. You can run an ET stunt here to help him. All right, you can slant the whole line this way, all right, to allow the mic not to have a gap. You'd have to bring a safety down to play the backside B or C gap. But again, some different options you can do there. Another good picture of it. So again, back shoulder here, they were doing a lot of back shoulder fades to us, so we're going to bracket him. So there it is there. They're actually running, looks like an RPO. They got a tackle. It's 14 yards downfield. I hope they called this. I can't remember. But nonetheless, good technique, good physical, inside leverage. Probably could have hugged up a little bit more on him, but we have a safety on top and a corner right underneath him. Same game, similar situation. That's better. Beating him up top there a little bit. And we don't want to throw him down by any means, but I like the physicalness, and again, we have a safety on top to help him. Another adjustment backside is we're just going to play cover 2. So why would we do this? Why is this different than bracket? We like this versus when teams go 3-by-1, but go gun weak. All right, 3-by-1 far, 3-by-1 weak, whatever you want to call it. We call it gun weak because when they run different route combinations back here, maybe they'll run arrow, dig, even wheel him, post, whatever, any two-man combinations. Sometimes we like to play cover 2 back here. All right, again, a nice little adjustment. We don't do it very often. Ends up being maybe 5-10 times a game. We also like it versus trips closed. So there's the tight end trips. All right, we'll make a cover 2 check back here. All right, that's the situation right here. So again, no big deal. It's still skate to the field. You have a lot of flexibility down here to the boundary what you want to do with it. All right, here's a good picture here. So again, we're playing skate to the field up top. Skate to the field up top. We like when the back's weak here because a lot of times they had the tendency to run routes. So he would play the curl. He would play the flat. Safety's over the top. Same deal. 3-by-1, so down the bottom here. He's a flat defender. He's a curl player. Safety's over the top. Again, we like it when the back's weak because he's likely to come out into the pass route. Or the screen right there. Very good. Now we got 2 guys. He's hooking in here. We got a contained guy here. They run any type of screen, slow screen to the running back. Now we got people sitting home for that. All right, trips closed again. So corner here is playing the flat, half field, and over here we're playing normal skate that we always play. So real good with run support to the boundary as well. All right, here's one here. I believe they run a pad, whether it's a dig, arrow concept. We're playing 2. Really good job by the bandit. He don't have far to go. He dropped back to 10 yards, but he's square. Quarterback goes to scramble. He's here to make a play on it. I think they wanted to right there. That's what they want to do. They wanted to throw this dig right there. Linebacker's sitting there to make the play. The corner probably shouldn't need to drop that far. He needs to be able to play this flat route. And I believe one more. So again, up to the top of the screen, playing cover 2 here. Safety's on top. Again, just a nice adjustment to your regular skate. One more here. Same thing down the bottom. You can play real aggressive, physical, cover 2. And again, up to the top, no different. There's our match 3 player. Here's our match 2. They go bunch. We'll come up and press the bunch, point up the bunch. He's our match wall 3 player. Right there, there's his 3. Quarterback throws it right to him. Beautiful there. Same deal. Really good job. He's a wall 2 bubbles. Don't go up here in the no cover zone. Do not. Just leverage that. All right, he's going to wall 3. They run a little out. We almost pick it off here. Really nice. Again, gun weak. Some sort of weak concept into the boundary. Quarterback draw. Really good by the bandit. Can't emphasize this enough. When we drop, we need to stay square, especially as a curl dropper, in case this happens. We'll draw. He's there to come up and help and make the tackle. All right, another adjustment backside here is cone. This is a big technique. I know a bunch of teams in the SEC run this. Very popular. It's kind of their day one install. All this is really where we're going to get it. We're going to bracket him back here, but it's best of both worlds, meaning we're going to read it. So cone technique. If he inside releases, then our corner is going to be in trail technique, and our safety is going to double him, going to top him off. If he outside releases, the corner is going to take him man-to-man, and it should be difficult because, again, we're head up to outside. He should almost run him out of bounds. So I tell him, hey, if you outside release, that guy better be in the stands. And then our boundary safety now plays exactly like skate. He can help out. He can poach three. He can help in the run game. All right, so it's best of both worlds. We end up reading it. All right, and here's kind of what I just said. If there's an inside release, all right, the safety's going to double one and stay over the top. All right, just like that. Inside release, he's probably running a dig, a post, a slant, or a post. All right. If it's an outside release, the corner's going to wall him, hopefully push him out of bounds, if not take him. And more times than not, when offense is outside release, you hear of MOR, that's a must outside release, or PRG, protection release go. Those are offensive terms where they basically saying, hey, run the corner off, you're not getting the ball. That's usually what happens when an outside release happens. And they could also throw a fade, but again, we're going to be outside technique here. Right? This picture is wrong. You should be head up to outside to make that hard on him. If he outside releases, we're then going to rob three in the pass game or help in the run game. So again, the minute he outside releases, eyes go back here. If it's pass, we're looking to poach number three. If it's run, we're extra in the run fit. Best of both worlds. All right. Next one is our strong rotation. And again, I'm going to speed up here a little bit, but basically it's showing quarters, strength of the formation, we spin down that way. Now, when we do this, all right, a couple of little things with alignment. These linebackers got to understand our Falcon doesn't need to be as wide because we're going to come down and we're rolling to that. So a lot of times we'll take our Falcon and we'll blitz him. All right, we can do some different things there because we're one extra guy. We're overplaying the trips. Okay, backside here, you got to make a decision. You're going to solo him up. You can press bail him and solo him up, or you can bail him out and kind of play more of a zone. But understanding that he doesn't have much help because the boundary safety is going to be your new kind of middle of the field or 2 to 3 defender. Okay, a couple clips. So again, 3x1. We like this, especially into this trio set where they got a heavy guy here, their H back. So our safety's going to come down. We can move our backer back into the box. So we're strong rotation. Again, I'd like to hold it till the snap of the ball. This game, we like to show it early. We try to do a little both just to kind of protect it. But nonetheless, we end up just playing skate like normal. This becomes your flat defender. He's your 2 to 3 player. Here's your 1 to 2 player. It's almost like a cover 3 to the trips. Okay. Same picture here. Now again, we're showing our bandit. He's still going to be here. All right, our Mike is still our wall 3 player. All right, and again, I think we're bringing our Falcon. No, we didn't there, but so we have an extra guy to the trips there. So in that case, when we don't bring them, our Falcon's our wall 3. All right, and we have an extra hole player with our Mike. All right, here we go. Same thing, strong rotation. We're already down. All right, our Falcon's in here. Again, heavy stacked backs right here. All right, we like to have an extra hat, so we played some games with the Falcon. I think we gave a spike call, and the Falcon's able to play that C gap there. Because again, that's a dilemma you have. Front set, left. You have to figure out all your gaps. They have an extra gap here when they put this tight end back here. more. So again, strong rotation. They have a tight end, stack backs, heavy run tendency. They have an extra gap. So we want to make sure we bring our Falcon in, and we're going to rotate strong to that. So end of the day, same deal. You get on your divider, all right, which he is. Ball's, middle. So he's kind of in between 5 and 1. All right, he's your 2 to 3 player. He's soloed up. He's still a match 2 player. All right, everything's the same. All right, same deal into the boundary. So our safety's rolling down here. He's over the top. Falcon's in the box. Three by one again. Well, they're going to motion to it, actually. So, again, we're playing base quarters here. Base quarters, but we're alerting that this motion to cross, and we're going to roll down to our strong rotation. So, half the snap here. There we go. They run jet sweep, so it works out perfect. And that's a beautiful thing about quarters. There's not far to go. He's down. We've got our support right there, inside out, outside in. Okay. All right, and one last one. Again, we haven't done a lot of this, but it's something that I know a lot of teams do, and we're looking to get into this year's. All right, here we go. This is our last version. And again, we don't do a lot of this 3 by 1. We call it roll. Long story short, you're playing a hard corner to the trips. It's great versus bubble, quick game to the trips out there. They're going to see an off corner. We're always pressing. They might try to attack you there. So he's going to play the half. Field safety's going to roll back and play 1 and 2. Boundary safety's going to divide 2 and 3. Again, backside, make a decision. Solo, you can press him if you've got a dude. Keep him man-to-man. You can press bail him. We're matched 2 back here. He's still a wall 3 defender. He's still a wall 2 defender. He's got to stay in the curl, though. Nothing's going to take him to the flat if you've got your corner. So it's almost like a trap coverage to the field. Again, a nice little adjustment, something we're going to do more of, especially if you see teams that are doing a lot of 10 personnel bubble game out to the field there. But that's our 3 by 1 adjustments. 100% you need those in your repertoire. There's many of them out there. Again, we go weak rotation, strong rotation. There's a roll portion to it. There's many ways. A lot of people that play palms coverage, they play mini out there. They can man up on 1 and then play read on 2 and 3. Something we haven't gotten into, but I know a lot of teams do that. So hope that helps. All right, one little nuance and just kind of a good coaching point in 3 by 1. So we talked about playing our skate coverage over here, and that's all good and well. And then on this side, the corner, again, how you're going to play it, he's man-to-man there. Again, we're going to have our boundary safety kind of, based on run, what's he do? Based on pass, what's he do? Now, one little nuance that you have to understand with this, let's just say this guy takes the top off and runs a post. You lose your corner. Now, we talked about if the back would run a wheel, any wheels out of the backfield, our match 2 player here, which is our bandit, he must carry that. So you lose that match 2 defender of the boundary. And a very popular route nowadays, and this showed up in the Super Bowl National Championship, it's all over, is some sort of wheel post combination here, and then they bring this number 3 across the ball nice and shallow because we lost our boundary. All right, flat defender there with that wheel route. And then it could be some version of drive over here, which doesn't make a difference as much there. But this under route, your Mike, your wall 3 player here, has got to know when it's gun weak, it's very critical, when it's gun weak, that he's got to take 3 through, meaning 3 through the formation. Okay, so if 3 goes under and he's looking to wall 3 and he goes under, the Mike's got to take that. If he would just pass, because normally, right, if he's under, he's going to pass it off to his bandit who's back here. But the bandit you lost on the wheel. All right, so the Mike's got to take that 3 through. All right, the other way, if it was gun strong, right, all right, and say whether he blocks or goes that way. Well, now if they run the under, the Mike knows that he doesn't need to take 3 through. He's going to go wall 3. He goes under. He would just yell under. The bandit now, that becomes his 2, and then Mike can sit under this dig route. But just wanted to make sure I hit on that because that's probably one of the most popular concepts out there in all levels of football, and you got to be able to defend it. All right, now we're going to talk about in the 4-by-3 system, empty coverage adjustments. This is something in today's football you have to have a plan for. Offenses, just about every offense you'll face. We'll get into empty. I don't know about a full dose of it, but they'll do it just to make sure that you can align to it. And I wouldn't be surprised if more and more teams do this more often because it does make defenses practice it. It does give you fits if you can't align to it. A lot of times they just want to spread you out to run the quarterback, or maybe they want to spread you out to throw a quick game, throw screens. It's not often that offenses will spread you out and empty and throw drop back. Okay, so I think as a coordinator of the defense, you have to have a plan for that. So with your plan, I think it needs to be detailed for empty. First off, I think you need to study what do they do. Like I just mentioned, most teams that run empty throw screens or run quick game. All right. I think the other very popular thing that offenses do in empty, they run some RPO version. The RPO would be a quick game concept to the trips, a quick game concept to the 2 receiver side, and then a quarterback draw as the run game. So quarterback comes up, looks left, looks right, pre-snap. Does he like it? If he does, he takes it. If he doesn't, he runs it. They could be counting the box. If you vacate the box and you have maybe a 5-4-1 box, then that tells the quarterback he's going to run the draw. If you got 6 in the box, maybe that's quarterback's going to throw to the trip side. If you have 3/3, he might throw it there. If you have 2/2, so it's all a numbers game. But you have to have, I think, answers for all that. What we like to do, verse it, we want to muddy up the front. What does that mean? So when they're in empty, there's 5 gaps. ABC, well, actually 6 gaps. ABC, and we got to be able to make sure we can take care of those gaps on our end. So we want to muddy the front up. We have 4 down linemen plus a Mike. That's 5. So we're 1 short. One of our other backers has a gap, so we have to be able to steal a gap or muddy the front up, meaning move some guys so that it's not a clean hole for the offense because they're gonna drop their scheme, whether they're gonna fold their center and guard and wrap them up to the backer. However they're gonna block it, they're trying to create a seam. So we want to muddy that up for them and make the ball go or spill or bounce to where we want it to go. Study their protection. Again, when they throw it, they can only do certain things. They can go big on big. There's 5 big on big, BOB, Bob, big on big. Or they can go half slide, man. So send the center one way, and that's a slide, zone protection, man up these 2. And then they throw hot off of a certain linebacker. So you need to study that. I think you need to, as a defensive guy, need to have a way to just bring 4, cover them down. I think you need a way to bring 5, put a little pressure on, play cover 1. I think you need a way to hammer them, bring 6 and play man behind it or zone behind it, whatever you like. And I do agree and think that sim pressures are great here. So again, what's a sim pressure? A sim pressure is you're simulating a bunch. So we're bringing 6, maybe 7, maybe 5, whatever it is. But we're going to drop out and only bring 4 and play coverage behind it. So again, a lot of times, quarterbacks see that. They see you bringing a bunch. They're going to check out to the quick game, throw it out there to where you have maybe a trap corner or whatever you're playing out there, and it puts you in an advantageous situation. So the first adjustment we have, and this is something that we do a lot of, is this is only bringing 4. So a way to muddy the front up and, again, kind of control so quarterback can't just do that. We like to run our outlaw stunts. So if you look at our stunts video, we're going to send our tackles through the B gap, and then our ends will wrap second for the A gaps. So again, everything else is the same back here. We're going to play our skate coverage here. We're going to play our match over here. So in empty, we're playing normal skate here. And over here, we're playing normal cover 8. All right, he's got number 1. He's match 2. And he is reading his number 2. Disregard this right here. All right, we're playing normal match coverage over here. All right, I have some clips of that. So here's a team comes out in empty. So albeit we're showing pressure here by our bandit, he's going to drop out in match 2. He's a match 2 player. All right, he's got all of 1, but because he's condensed, we don't want to press that, so we're just playing off coverage here. And up here we're playing skate coverage. All right, skate coverage. All right, nice game there. Notice we kind of get the quarterback off his mark a little bit with some pressure, and we get to throw an incompletion right to where we want. So up top, they have 3 receivers. We have 4 over 3. He's a wall 2. He's a wall 3. He's leaning 2 and 3. He's leaning 1 and 2. And down here, we're playing normal match coverage. Really good. All right, there's empty again. 3 by 2. All right, we're going to run our outlaw stunt here. We're playing cover 8 here, and we're playing skate up here. Look at the defensive line first. There's our good outlaw stunt. B-gap contain with our tackles. There you see our looping end coming in. Does a great job of going up the field. Going up the field, 1, 2, 3. Boom, foot in the ground. Get vertical and make the sack. All right, look at the coverage up to the boundary. Again, playing normal match. Match 2, match 2. They run some sort of seam. He can never get off the ball. He matches 2. He leverages on top. Really good. Down the bottom. All right, he's a wall 3 player. We don't want to let him get across the formation so quick. All right, we don't want to get him get across the formation so quick. We'd rather our Mike be inside out, make him wall, make him run the hump around us. Another clip, same deal. All right, they started in empty, and then they went back to 3 by 1. That's okay. We still kept our game on. It's our normal defense. We're playing skate up here, and again, we're just playing 8 down here. It doesn't matter if he's in the backfield or right here. Again, get some nice cheap pressure there, and we're playing the screen behind it. Good one here. 3 by 2, empty again. Skate to the field. Cover 8 to the boundary. Notice our game. All right, our tackle to the boundary. That does a good job at the end there, containing. See, he kind of gets stoned, but then we want to run COP there. That's COP. That's called contain on pass. So if they do throw the ball, if he gets a pass set by the tackle right there, he can't contain through the B gap. He wants to keep working, keep stair-stepping to contain the quarterback, which he does. Does an excellent job of that. We get the ball thrown away and get off the field. Another good picture here of empty. All right, with a little pre-snap jet motion. We kind of disregard that. We're still going to run our 4-man game here. All right, our outlaw stunt. And we end up playing quarters behind it, which is something that we do every day of our lives. Nonetheless, we get a very, very nice stunt here. Look at both defensive ends up the field. 1, 2, 3. Force the quarterback out of the pocket. And again, behind it, we're playing a very safe coverage that we know very well. So again, empty here. Playing our 3 by 1 adjustments. Skate down here. We're playing cover 8 to the boundary. They, again, like we talked about, most offenses, when they run empty, throwing quick game, they're throwing screen game, or they're throwing some sort of version of an RPO with a quarterback draw, or they're just running some sort of quarterback draw, quarterback trap. That's what it is here. The middle opens up like he thinks he has it, and then all of a sudden both ends show up and we get a nice TFL. So it's a great answer if you only want to bring 4, all right, in empty, to where you can kind of force the offense's hand. And here's a good picture from the end zone copy. So again, we're running our outlaw stunt. Tackles are first. and our ends are looping inside. There you go. See it open up, but then our ends come in to close that off. Same situation here. Same exact thing. So they're running the same. You can see this is what we talked about. They're running pre-snap, bubble up here, bubble up here. Quarterback's coming out. He's counting numbers. So down here we have 3/2. That's not good. Offenses don't like that. Look up here. We have 4/3. Again, offenses don't like that. Look in the box. We got 4 plus our mic 5. So I guarantee that's what this kid was taught. 5 in the box, run your draw. Well, we're able to control that by running this little outlaw stunt. We get the quarterback to run right where we run him to go. Nothing there. He bounces out to our unblocked linebacker. Nice picture here from the end zone. So again, both tackles blown through the B gaps, both ends wrapping inside the A gaps. There we go. Bounces exactly. So again, you can force the ball, funnel the ball where you want it to go. All right, so that was us playing coverage, bringing 4. Now I think you got to have a way to bring 5. So this is a way that I think breaks down the protection. So again, 5-man protection. You can kind of control what the offense is going to do. More times than not, when you run this little stunt, somebody's going to come free every time we do this. So again, to the trips, we're going to play skate. To the boundary here now, we're losing a guy. We're bringing 5. So we're playing our cover 8, but this boundary safety knows he has no underneath help. He's losing his linebacker. So we're just playing basically man-to-man down here. So zone up here, man here. Bandit's going to read the guard here. If he blocks down, all right, he's going to go B gap. If the guard blocks out, then he's going to go opposite A gap. And that's it. All right, tackles, we're setting the front where we always do. You're going to short stick here. You're going to short stick here. And we're just reading this guard. Again, if he blocks down on this sticking tackle, he fires the B gap. And that's what happens more times than not. If when this 3 technique goes down, he blocks out, all right, that means they're probably sliding to him, which means he's going to go there, which means you're going to come free right there. And I got some good clips of this. And again, more times than not, the bandit ends up going B gap. So here it is here. And again, we like to show the mic on this side. We like to show him in that front side B gap just to pull the protection there. He drops out. We're playing our normal coverage here, skate here, and we are man to man back here. Again, if they want to throw drop back, they're going to be in for some trouble. So they do a decent job of picking it up. They don't quite pick it up, but we get pressure, and again, force them into a sack. Same picture here. Is that same pressure. This is our 5-man. We have 2 or 3 other ones we'll do, but again, we're stunting. He's going through the B gap. Again, they ran the ball inside zone. We come scot-free. Make the TFL. Same thing here. You can see they got rid of the ball quick. Again, off coverage, this guy's got to be ready to go attack, but you can see our bandit is coming free unblocked. Same situation again. He's going to read that guard. Probably showed it too quick there. See what happened there? He showed it too quick, so the guard went unblocked him, but then again, our 3 technique, who's slanting inside, comes free. Now he gets the pressure. So it's a great little stunt. Again, then you have 5, so you can manipulate who you want to come free. Good one here. I believe so we're empty. They motion back. We kept our empty check on. Sometimes we Okie or Omaha out of that. Sometimes we don't. Kept it on here. Get a nice run through, and we get a TFL. All right, last one. So again, bring 4. Don't bring anybody. Bring 5. Bring 6. This is our version of bringing 6. Again, we're going to bring 6. We're going to play cover 0. You could play 6. You could play cover 1 behind it and peel. All right, that's an option as well. Just got to make the whatever adjustments you want to make. So right here, again, whatever version we're bringing, double edge pressure. and we're playing cover 0 behind it. Man, 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 man. Now we're playing 0. There's also occasion we can play that hot coverage. We can play our eyes coverage. So all 5 across, playing zone. So if you got teams that are running, just very common slant, arrow, stuff like that. Maybe you want to play more of a hot coverage or an eyes coverage. Same thing down here, very common, slant, arrow. In this case, they go double slant, so we're actually in good position here. I believe we interfered there, though. Nonetheless, we got guys coming free. They only have 5 protecting. We got this guy coming free right here, forced to throw. And again, I'd rather take an interference than give up a touchdown, but nonetheless, we had some pressure there. So couple alternatives we do, and this has been very popular in college football now. This is where you're going to put 6 up on the line of scrimmage. We're going to put a guy in the C gap and the B gap, A gap, B gap, C gap. All right. These 2 dudes in green are reading the tackle. If he blocks, block comes out to block to you. It's like a 2-man game. You drop off. The other guy go. All right. Look at the 2 in the red. They're reading the center. He blocks left. I'm going to step and drop off. I'm going to go. All right, the 2 in the blue, same thing. They're reading this tackle. He goes down. I'm going to step and drop off. I'm going to go. So basically, if somebody comes to block you, drop off. If he doesn't, I go. So the 3 guys we're reading are our tackles, the center, and the tackle. We don't care about the guards because they can only do so much. They go big on big. We're going to have a guy free. If they slide, we're having a guy free. So this is another little version. We ran this a couple times. And again, behind it, we only have 5 guys. We're going to play man. I like this in our hot coverage where we're playing eyes because we're going to gain, in a perfect world, 3 underneath defenders that can help on these slant routes. So I like being back at the sticks even, 8 to 10 yards, seeing the ball thrown, we can come up and tackle it. So here's a clip of that. So right here, there's our 6-man. We're showing certain guys are going to go, certain are going to drop off. Looks like we're playing 0. There's a tight end right there. All right, he's playing kind of off, catch man, and he's man there. But notice the rush. Certain guys drop off. I think what happened here, the tight end kind of screwed us up there and got in the way there. So technically, this linebacker here, the tackle blocked down on our DN. He should have came, and he would have came free. That would have been our free guy. All right, but we told him to actually try to get a hand on the tight end before he released. But nonetheless, something you could add to your repertoire. And again, so right here, he's going to rush. If this guy blocks him, he comes free. That's what would have happened. All right, down here, these 2 are reading him. All right, he blocks out, so he's going to tickle the tackle, drop out. He rushes the B gap. That's what happens. Good. Let's look at the middle 2. So these 2 are reading him, the center. Center steps left. So that guy drops out. He rushes. So everybody was right except our Mike backer there. And if he would have done it right, he would have been coming free to the quarterback. All right, another look at it. So freedom 0 again. I think they were in empty, they motioned back. Nonetheless, we kept it on. We're playing cover 0. Again, there's your free rusher. We did it correctly. Now, again, we teach those guys as they rush, before they drop out, all right, if it's run, maintain your gaps. And that's what happens here. We have a free runner. We get them for a minimal game. It's 3rd and 10. We're off the field. All right. One other version here. So, again, Mike shows, Bandit shows. We got 2 A-gap players or 2 1 techniques here. He slides in the B, he's in the B, and they basically read the center. Center steps to you, drop out, you go. Center steps this way, you drop out, you go. All right, that's a pretty simple one. But again, one more that you can add to your repertoire. So that's it. That's our empty checks. Again, I think you need to have a specific plan. What do they do? And then on your side, going into the game, I think you have 3 checks. You have a way to bring 4, you have a way to bring 5, a way to bring 6, and that's probably all you need depending on how much they run out.
All right, so one thing I want to touch on with our empty package, again, a way to bring six, and again, very popular now. Brent Venables at Clemson's made this extremely popular. We call it freedom. Call it whatever you want, but long story short, we're showing six to the line of scrimmage. We're playing off, cover zero, eyes coverage. We could play either one man because you're going to get some curl hook droppers here if you do it right. So we'll show you two scenarios here. They're in empty, so they only got five guys to block. They got to make a decision. All right, they're going to block big on big. They're going to pick the five most dangerous. More than likely, though, they'll slide one way and cut one of your guys free. So let's look at two scenarios here. The guys that are circled, they're the ones we're reading. All right, both tackles and the center. So starting over here. So let's assume they're all going to slide this way. All right, so that's a lot, and then basically they'll put the last guy on the edge hot. So they're all going to slide this way. So in this picture here, if you're blocked, drop out. If you're not, rush. So the Mike's going to attack outside. Is he blocked? Yes. All right, we say tickle the tackle. You got to go. Go one or two steps. If you're being blocked, then he's going to drop out. Right now, looking for this cutter right here. He's looking for first cutter. One of these guys running a slant. All right, he becomes an underneath player. This end goes because the tackle blocked out. Easy. All right, the nose in R3 here. They're both going to rush their respective A gaps. Which way did the center block? He blocked towards the nose. He's going to drop out and be our middle hole player. R3 is going to burst through. Now, in this picture, this guard's probably going to block our end. This guard's going to probably block our three. That's okay. All right, last two here now. They're both going to rush their respective gaps. All right, which way does the tackle block? He blocks down. All right, he's going to drop out again. Eyes out here, looking for first little quick slant right there in that window. And the bandit right here, this is the guy in this picture that's going to end up coming free. All right, so that's one of the possibilities. Let's look at now if they slide the other way real quick. So same exact scenario, but now they slide the other way. How does it play out? So we got bandit end, we got nose, three, we got our other end, and our Mike. All right, so if they slide the other way, boom, 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 boom. All right, both attack your respective gaps. He blocks me, I drop out. I go, I'm probably blocked by the guard. Good. We both go. Who blocks? Boom, I'm out, I rush. I'm blocked by the guard. Same thing here. We both rush. I'm blocked. The Mike is free. All right. No matter how you do it, somebody's coming free on our end. And again, safe. You could play a zone back here with three guys dropping. You could play man with three bonus droppers. Because let's face it, you're bringing six. That quarterback's going to throw hard. We got an unrushed guy, so he better catch the ball and throw it. And if they're in more times than not, offense is hot, especially with off coverage. Their answers are slants right there, and you could get lucky and maybe steal one of those. And obviously, it'd be good for the defense.
All right, now we're going to talk about defending RPOs with the 4-3 system. So as everybody knows, very in vogue thing right now the past, probably 5 years or so, and it's getting even more. I think it's just building steam. Offenses love the idea of run-pass options, right? Always able to have the pen last, always gets them in the right place. So we're going to talk about a little bit about that. We're going to talk about why offense runs RPOs, what's the theory behind them, and then obviously we want to talk about how we defend them. All right, so the theory behind RPOs, what are they? What's all the rage? Okay, RPOs are oxygen plays, right? They're always going to be right. They will always can keep the sticks moving, always gaining positive yards. So oxygen plays are basically that backside 3x1, that gift route. Off coverage, they can just come up and throw a hitch if you're playing off over there. To the field, 2x2, 3x1, whatever. If we don't have them covered down, if they have leverage on us, being able to throw a bubble and gain 4 or 5 yards, being able to throw a stick route and gain yards, get completions. Those are oxygen plays. So offenses love those because they can stay, going fast. They can stay in their up tempo, no huddle phase. All right. Like I mentioned, it allows them to have the pen last. If they have a run play called back in the old days, we loaded the box. I guess they could have audibled, and a lot of that was on the quarterback. But more times than not, they were going to run the ball into the loaded box, and we'd win it, be 2nd and 10. Nowadays, they can call that same run play, but they have a built-in, like I mentioned, 3x1 gift on the backside, bubble, stick to the front side. And again, we'll show you some video of that, but it allows offense coordinators, quarterbacks to kind of have the pen last, if you will. Kind of ties right into the next thing. Offense is likely never to have a bad play, right? So again, that same situation. We're going to run the ball to a loaded box. Back in the day, you really couldn't do much. Nowadays, they can get out of that. And again, it's all built into the system. All the hard work. So again, the offense coordinators, they put all their work in during the week, and then they're able to come out on Friday and really just let the game develop. There's really you don't have to call the exact play to be successful. They put defenders in conflict, right? That's kind of what it's all about. They want to make defenses play slow. They want to make defenses, defenders in particular, be in conflict, meaning, do I cover this gap or do I cover this receiver? Do I play the run or do I play the pass? And ultimately what that does, it makes defenses passive. And that's what offenses want. They want you to sit back, play soft, give them room to do their thing, give them room to run their offense, and then they feel they can be successful that way. So I believe that's why RPOs are so popular. All right, so what types of RPOs are there? We kind of break them down into two. There's pre-snap RPOs and there is post-snap RPOs. So pre-snap RPOs, that is exactly what it sounds like. It's pre-snap before the ball is snapped, before they're ready to go. The quarterback's up there and he's surveying the defense based on kind of three things here. All right, the first one being leverage. All right, leverage. The second one being grass, and the third one being numbers. So leverage. Again, 2x2. If we have an overhang inside of the receiver, they like that leverage. They can run bubbles, and they feel they can get the ball out there to the perimeter quick and outrun you. All right, get the ball to their players in space. Grass, again, is there open grass? Is there, where's the windows at out there? If they're in 3x1, the overhang's real wide, there's grass in here. All right, they can throw the ball in that open grass. And again, numbers. Do they have numbers? All right, 3x1. If to the 3 side, we only have 3 defenders there, they like that. That's 3 on 3. Let's go. They're going to throw the ball out there and, again, get the ball to their playmakers in space. That's ultimately what offense is about, getting the ball to your playmakers and letting them make plays in space. And then finally, the pre-snap, we talked about the gift on the backside. So, again, 3x1, single receiver side, depending on what structure you're playing. If the corner's off and the overhang's tucked in, offenses love that. They'll take that all day. They'll catch it and they'll throw hitches back there all day until you either widen out a backer, roll down a safety, or play press with your corner. Okay, that's kind of what pre-snap RPOs are. And I believe, about 7-8 years ago, that's kind of how they started. An RPO was basically, most of them were all pre-snap. If they came out and they're going fast, right, that's kind of the thought behind the no huddle, going fast. Defense can't get lined up. We're going to be out there to the 3x side. We're on the ball, and you're not lined up yet. They're going to catch it, throw it out there, and gain a cheap 5, 7, 8 yards, whatever it is. So that evolved then to what we call post-snap RPO. And in post-snap RPOs, there's a couple different kinds here. So first one, middle field's open. So that's a 2-high shell. Middle field is open, 2-high shell. Middle of the field closed. You have the safety in the middle of the field, and then thirdly is your linebacker alignment. So offenses will look, if it's a middle field open, they're likely to read one of your safeties. After the snap is snapped, they're going to read a safety. Does one roll down? And if so, maybe they'll throw something behind it. That would be a post-snap RPO. All right, middle of the field's closed, which means you have a safety in the middle of the field. Now they might read one of your overhangs or maybe your mic. If it's a 3x1 set, the mic's plussed out. They could read the mic. They could show outside zone the one way. If the mic plays a run, they're going to replace him, with a route. And that's kind of, takes us to the third thing, linebacker alignment. You got to think about where your linebackers align because offenses are studying that pre-snap. they're studying that. If he's tighter, if he's wider, now we're going to read him post snap, and they have different routes there to throw. So with that being said, pre and post snap RPOs, there's also second level, all right, and third level RPOs. So the first one's second level RPO. It's kind of exactly what I just talked about there. They're going to read a second level defender. So that's oftentimes our linebackers, right? So they'll show run, linebacker fills the run, they throw the route behind him. So again, always being right, having the pen last. It puts that linebacker, they're going to read that linebacker that's in conflict. All right, and they often do it with slant routes or spot routes. So again, we'll look at some film on that. And then the third one, or the second one, would be a third level RPO. So again, first level is D-line, second level is linebackers. Third level is your safeties traditionally. So they're going to read that third level defender. All right, again, put that safety in conflict. A lot of times, in a too high shell, teams are going to roll down weak or strong rotation, and that becomes the extra defender in the run game. So if we're running, say, counter to the weak side, we can block them all. But if that safety comes down, that's their +1 in the run. That's a guy that's going to come down and, in essence, make the tackle. Well, offenses want to be right. So, again, 3-by-1, we're running, just say, GT counter into the boundary. We can kick out the end. We can double back to the mic. We can pull through for their linebacker. But if that safety comes down, we can't block him. So instead of taking receiver back in the old days and trying to crack him, all right, we're going to run a route now. We're going to run a skinny post, a glance route behind where he left. So as the quarterback gets it, all right, he sticks the ball out, whether it's same side counter or regular counter. His eyes are on that safety. If the safety rolls down, he'll pull the ball and throw the ball to that area where the safety left. So again, that's a third level RPO, by far the most popular one that's out there. I'm sure there's others, but that's the one that we're going to talk about now. All right, so we just talked about types of RPOs: pre-snap, post-snap, second level, third level. So let's look at some of these clips here. All right, this is actually our offense here. So it's a 2-by-2 set. You see pre-snap. All right, they got us covered down. It looks like it's just a basic kind of 4-4 cover 3. So with cover 3, you have off corners, right? So this play right here, this is a run play that's called. This is inside zone to the right. You'll see all the offensive linemen stepping that way, inside zone to the right. But the quarterback has two options. We're gonna motion over, and he's gonna run a bubble, all right, with these guys blocking. So that's the option number 1. Or if the motion occurs, he's got the option to take that pre-snap gift. And by the picture right here, he's off coverage. So the minute that happens, you see us running the ball, block and run, throw the gift up there, get the ball to a playmaker in space, and case of poor tackling, he ends up taking the ball the distance. But again, was that a great play call by us? Not necessarily. It was just a good decision by the quarterback. He made a good throw, and we got the ball to a playmaker in space. So that's again a pre-snap. Here's another version of the pre-snap. So same deal. All right, we got inside zone to the left. All right, we can definitely run it there, but we're running a little spot bubble concept here. All right, so basically, pre-snap, it looks good because of grass. All right, but then he's going to kind of read this guy post-snap. All right, when he goes to mesh the running back. All right, if he jumps the bubble, then we're just going to replace him right behind him. So you can see that kind of happens there, right there. He kind of knew pre-snap that he was likely to do that just because of his alignment. So the quarterback doesn't even stick the ball in there to mesh it, and we just replace that flat defender. So again, the defense here rolls down. There you can see the safety coming down late, kind of just playing a cover 3 behind it. We replace it and get a very nice gain on first down, again with tempo, etc. So a couple different versions here, just kind of looking at these RPOs. So here's another one, 2-by-2. It looks almost like a cover 0 look, but again, down the bottom, when the motion occurs, all this space that as a defense, you can't give them because they'll take this gift all day long. And again, they got the ball into their fast kid versus your kid, and I guess we'll see who's better here. So again, from an offense standpoint, this is ideal. All right, from a defense standpoint, I don't like this at all. That's why we press on the outside, because we take that away. All right, a couple more here, and then we'll get to some answers on how we're going to stop it. All right, so same deal here, 3-by-1 now. So the play is inside zone to the left. All right, and up top, again, we're going to run that spot bubble concept, kind of reading this defender post-snap. So stick the ball in the mesh. All right, so this is a post-snap RPO. You see the mesh happening. His eyes are on this defender. What's he going to do? Is he going to hang here, or is he going to attack? I think he eventually attacks, and then we throw the ball behind him. So again, this guy is in conflict right now. They're actually playing a trap corner to the field. They're playing trap corner. It looks like third. All right, so this is a lot like our roll coverage we talked about in our 3-by-1 adjustment. And this kid kind of, if he does it right, he should just hang out. He doesn't need to jump the flat defender because they got a guy in the flat here. But nonetheless, quarterback makes a good throw. We'll get a nice completion. All right. Look at one more here. Same situation. All right, so inside zone to the left. All right, you got off coverage to the boundary. All right, that's a situation. Motion occurs. All right, looks like he wanted to throw it down here to the bottom. But nonetheless, up top, he has that bubble. So when we motion, he would bubble. He's going to block. Nobody covered that, and they threw it out there. So lots of versions there, lots of different options for offense. But number one, why we press because we take away that gift. And then what we'll talk about here in a minute, and this is actually a good clip here. All right, so this looks like a 2-back set, but nonetheless, we stacked our receivers. So as a defense, you got to make a decision. You're going to walk your overhang out, all right, or you're going to keep your overhang in here to stop the run. All right, whatever it is, we like this. This is called numbers now. So we got 2-on-1 basically. Really don't count this kid. He's back about 8 yards inside. We think we can get the ball thrown out here, get this guy blocked before he can get there. So as a defense, we got to do a better job of showing that we're taking that away and then play this late versus the team we're playing here didn't. They said, you know what, we're going to stop the run, go ahead and throw it out there. So that's what happens. Throw it out there in the perimeter. Ball's in his hands. He's blocked. It becomes a one-on-one game with him and him. We're able to beat him and get in the end zone. So there you go. Now we got to talk about how we're going to stop those. So we'll go back to some defensive answers. We need answers for these RPOs, right? These offenses gain every advantage out there. So we got to, as a defense, come up with ways to stop them. So the first thing, and I alluded to it there, is you got to have leverage with your overhang. You got to be able to control the leverage of the overhang. All right. We'll show you here in a second, but we give him a box. So a box has 4 corners. So within that overhang, your Falcon usually, he has a certain alignment he needs to be in. He needs to be in that apex alignment for the most part. But within that apex, he has 4 areas he can go. He can show blitz up on the line of scrimmage. He can be head up on that number 2 receiver. He can be back apex where he normally is, or he can be tucked in further just to give the illusion of being tucked in. And the reason of that, that's all pre-snap movement. We want him to show something different to the quarterback every snap. And actually, to be honest, we want him moving around every snap. But at the end of the day, he needs to be where he needs to be to do his job. So we give him freedom of alignment. We want to change the picture for the quarterback and for the OC. And again, kind of every snap, he needs to do this. But then finally, with that being said, ultimately, he better be able to do his assignment versus being a great disguise. So if that makes sense. We don't want to disguise and then take us out of what we need to do our job. Okay, so leverage of the overhang is number 1. Number 2 is stem your front. Okay, so again, change the picture. A lot of times, defenses with these overhangs, they're going to read the B-gap defender with these RPOs. So if that's your, in an over front, that might be your linebacker to the weak side. But now if we stem opposite, that changes that read. So create a decision for the quarterback. Again, the worst thing you can do is come up, make the nice, pretty picture that the quarterbacks practice all week. I'm going to read this guy that's right there exactly where my coach told me it would be. But all of a sudden, now he's not. He's tucked in or he's wider. Our line's here versus being here. So the more you can do that, the better. All right, secondary disguise. So again, we want to hold our 2 shell. We want to give that same picture every single snap of the game, period. That way we're not giving anything away. We're disguising it. When the QB indicator or the snap of the ball, that's when we want to move if we are moving. All right, we don't always do that. So the QB indicator, that's something we study. Some offenses, that's a clap. All right. Some offenses, that's the hand down to the center. In some offenses, that's the quarterback lifting his leg. In some offenses, it's something in his snap count. Okay, so we got to understand that. Again, changes the picture. You have the pen last, and like I mentioned, it creates indecision for the quarterback, but also that OC that's up in the box calling that game. All right. Another way to defend RPOs, and this is obviously probably everybody's number one way, is play man coverage. But the thing with that is, not everybody can play man coverage. They might just have better guys, but it's definitely something you can do that'll take it away right now because you have a man on a man. They might be reading a backer or whatever, but you have a man on a man, and they will be contested throws. It gives them nobody to read. All right, so we like that as an answer for sure, but can't be a steady diet of it because all of a sudden you're playing man coverage. Now they're going to squeeze down, and they're going to run their mesh routes and their pick routes, their rub routes, crossing routes, which then you have to kind of be ready to answer there as well. All right, take players out of conflict. So without playing man-to-man, we still want to play our base defense. How are we going to defend RPOs? We're going to take the players out of conflict. We know who our conflict players are. So we need to teach those guys, give them tools in their toolbox to get out of conflict. So one of those is the spike technique, which we talked about. So if I'm the field backer and I have that C gap, I can tell my defensive end and do a little gap exchange with my defensive end. He'll take the C and I'll take the D now. All right. Or vice versa to the weak side, the bandit. If he's got the B gap and the end's in the C gap, he can give a spike call, allow the end to play the B gap, and now you can hang out in that overhang window and that RPO window a little bit longer. Another thing you can also do is post-snap move your defensive line. So same thing, just say a 3-by-1 set with the mic plussed out to the 3-receiver side. He's playing the front side B gap. We can take the whole D-line and slant them to the field, all right, to make him gapless. Now he's solid. He doesn't have a gap, so he can work out into that, match 3-stick window. But then you need to replace, one of those gaps with another defender on the backside. That could be a safety or a corner. You could play a hard corner back there, put the corner in the C gap, and play the safety over the top, whatever you like. Another way is to steal gaps somehow. So how do you steal gaps? So back to our stunts. You can muddy the front up, run in different games with your D linemen. You can read different defenders, just trying to gap, or I don't say two gap, but trying to steal gaps. So different stunts. You can make yourself right. Cut one gap out by stealing gaps up front with your D line. Run that tech stunt or the ET stunt, and then your linebacker behind doesn't necessarily have to fill that gap because it gets muddied out.
All right, now we're going to talk about. We talked about what RPOs were, why people run RPOs, and then how to defend them. So this is a little more in-depth on ways to defend RPOs as a defense and things that will help you defend RPOs. Number one we're going to talk about is controlling your overhang. So I don't care if it's a 2-by-2. This is just an example of a 3-by-1 set here. I want you to focus on this overhang player. So again, we're playing skate out here, which is basically weak rotation. All right, but we're looking at this overhang. Offenses right now are studying this guy. All right, they're studying this guy out here, his alignment, and what he's doing pre-snap. So basically what we tell our overhang is that he has a box. All right, so he's here, but he's got a box here to move within. He can go to any one of these 4 points, and in fact, we want him to go to multiple spots before the snap of the ball. Because again, this quarterback and the offense coordinator up in the booth are studying his pre-snap alignment. If you go out there and are just static and are standing there, they're going to pick you apart. They're going to see where you're at. If you're wide, they're going to throw here. If you're tight, they're going to throw wide. If you're wide, they might hand it off. So whatever it is, you want to keep them off balance. So again, pre-snap, we might have him showing, pressure up on the edge, and then he backs out to here. We might have him showing press up here on the point to take away or at least deter them throwing a screen, and then he backs up to where he needs to be. Maybe he's back here showing a soft, static alignment, and then he walks up. Or maybe he's lined up here tight in the box, maybe showing like a roll corner, and then we're able to walk out. But again, point is, control your overhang, do a good job of changing his alignment, give him freedom of movement so that it keeps offenses off balance. Next thing is a stem. So again, we'll keep this same formation up just for continuity. So we'll put the Falcon back up. So one thing you could do right now, so in this setup right now, he's C gap, B gap, A gap, A gap, B gap, C gap. So the conflict player here, all right, in his 3x1 set is our Mike. All right, he's a guy that has a gap, and he also has to be able to, wall 3 out here. And just for the purpose of the picture, to make it more realistic, let's bump him out. Let's say this trips is wide, right? He's going to apex, and the Mike's plussing out here because they're throwing, your typical stick draw. This is, these probably the most popular RPO deal. So these guys are running inside zone. All right, so this Mike's got to decide. He gets a run read by these offensive linemen, right? He gets a run read by these offensive linemen. He's got to fill his gap. But now that's leaving, his match 3 wide open. All right, so what do? You have to be able to do some things there. So first thing we could do is stem the defense a little bit, but we'll come back to that. But I think that the first thing, the big thing you could do is be able to steal gaps. What ways can we control the Mike so he doesn't have to play that gap? So the first one we talked about before is spiking this defensive end. So basically just gap exchanging. So this end's going to play a heavy technique, meaning if he goes down, he's going to go off his butt, and he's a dive player. If he would block out and they'd lock it, well, then the defensive end would spike in the B gap. And now the Mike's able to plus out here. All right, if the quarterback would pull it, well, he's able to play the C gap from there. So that's a very, very easy way to allow the Mike not to have a gap. All right, and that's good. We'll do that at times. The Mike has that in his toolbox, but again, you have to have multiple ways, in my opinion. Another way to do it, all right, we'll slant the whole line at times. So we'll line up like this. Same thing will be front set away. So what's another way to allow the Mike not to have a gap? We'll slant the line this way. All right, we're all short stick this way. All right, so what changes? The bandit, his gap now went from the 1A to that A. Everything else is great. We're gapped out. We'll actually bring the safety down here, and the safety will play the backside C gap. Okay, because again, in our skate structure, he's extra. We don't need him. This corner now knows he has no help. All right, so we'll sometimes bail him out. We can pre-snap bail him. We can post-snap bail him or snap him on the snap of the ball. Or we can just say, man, you got him, solo up. So again, that's another really, really good option to help yourself. A third way, again, without slanting the line, let me just erase these guys. All right, and again, a very easy way to protect the Mike who is in conflict here. All right, there we go. So same play, that same deal. How do we get the Mike? How do we get the Mike from not playing a gap? So set the front away like we do. There's our gaps. So right now the Mike still has the B gap, so we can run a front side ET stunt. So very simple. We know the blocking scheme. Very high likelihood they're going to run that, and they're going to read our defensive end on inside zone. Well, we're going to call an ET. But again, we're not going to bury ourselves. If that tackle's down, we're going to go off his butt, and this guy becomes a dive player. He's going to tackle the running back. So in a perfect world, when that quarterback goes to set up and he's reading our defensive end, all right, our defensive end is crashing. He's going to tackle the running back. So that should force a pull. Quarterback pulls it, all right. Two things here. The nose is going to wrap nice and tight. He becomes the inside shoulder player of the quarterback, inside out. All right, if the quarterback's an athlete and runs here, then we got our Mike here to play the outside shoulder. All right, so again, another great answer. That's 3 really good answers to protect the Mike versus any type of RPO. All right, now let's go to a different formation. And one last thing that we see quite a bit. So similar deal. We'll just go, just for sake of doing a different formation, we'll go to a 2x2 set. All right, another kind of popular RPO. Well, it would be same type of thing. They'd read the back, or they'd find the conflict player. Let's go here. So again, backs here, inside zone this way. The conflict player is our bandit. So they, again, run the ball. The bandit fills the gap. They'd run a little slant right behind them and pop them the ball. All right, great. So we know that. So a team that does that, well, very simply, our answer, or one of our answers, would be to play cover one, man-to-man. So we'd come down, we'd roll down, and we'd play our safety man here. All right. Our Falcon walks out here. Again, outside leverage, playing there. Our field safety is going to roll to the middle of the field there. All right, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm missing the bandit. Here we go. And the bandit. These two are tango in the back. All right, run fits are the same. We have nobody in conflict now. The only thing you're missing here when you play cover one is you lose that extra hat. So that's what we teach this field safety now. Whenever he goes to go to the middle of the field, again, he's going to shuffle. If he reads run, well, he ain't just going to bail out to oblivion. He's going to read run, and he's going to make sure he comes down and is able to get over here in case, they block down. Our defensive end is going to surf and near foot. If he's able to outrun our defensive end, then at least we'll have a safety coming to be the extra hat and to get him on the ground. So, again, that's anything you got to worry about. We're going to play cover one to stop the RPO, but all of a sudden now they have a quarterback that can run cover one. That's what you lose with a team that can run the quarterback a little bit playing cover one. But back to the answers for RPOs, this is a great way to stop them. That original play that they were going to call, that inside zone, and say they're going to run that slant, well, now they can't do it. We're man-to-man. If the back goes there, he's going to have him. He'll be the rat, and he'll be right in that window, and again, we'll have the safety over the top. So that's 4 or 5 really good answers to help stop the RPO that you could put into your repertoire.